Hey guys, Civilord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Wal-Mart exclusive OJism. But not so OJism because I was able to easily acquire this through the Wal-Mart site, and well, here we are. Looking at you, Target, you dicks. That said, today we're taking a look at the Gamerverse, aka Marvel vs. Capcom, War Machine and or versus Omega Red Tupac, brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro. And despite the fact that it's not motherfucking Psylocke, I must say that they are going to remain fine folks for this video, because if there are unsung heroes in this year's program, I'm going to say it's these two right here, because A, the War Machine figures have always been good since they made that deluxe War Machine body during the midst of the pandemic, and of course Omega Red, being the Omega Red body, has always been good. However, I never got the 5-pack with the Omega Red in these colors, so this is my first time messing with an Omega Red like this. And not for nothing, they actually did a little bit more than just repaint the one I already have. So I give them their flowers when they're deserved, but when they're not, I take them away, throw them in their face, and stomp on them until they bleed. So, without further ado, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look, see at all War Machine and Omega Red have to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with a pair of alt hands for good old James Rhodes. Now, be careful when you're popping these out. They're kind of tight. The pegs are kind of gummy. I didn't mess mine up or anything, but, you know, word to the wise. They do have ports on them in case you wanted to use some kind of blast effect, like a repulsor blast or what have you. But you don't get any of those. Just like you get these missile effects with ports on them with no stand. Now, you can get the, what is that, Maximum Spider-Man stand, but that's really, really low, considering that the gun is on War Machine's shoulder. It's probably not going to be good enough. I think there's some stands on Hasbro Pulse that you can buy and spruce this up a bit, which, kind of a bitch that this set already cost $53.47 after tax and free shipping from Walmart, because it's over 35 bucks, and you don't get a shitty clear plastic stand. I mean, come on, dude, what are we doing here? That said, in terms of Omega Red's accessories, we get a pair of open hands, very aggressive looking open hands. I'm kind of torn on whether or not I use these or the fists, and to my understanding, I don't think we've ever gotten alt hands for Omega Red before. The one in the 5-pack had an alt head, which this one has said alternate head, the Screaming Head, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't believe we've ever gotten two pairs of hands with an Omega Red before, so that is cool. But things we have gotten in pairs with Omega Red are the tentacles here, not to be confused with testicles, but he's got a pair of these little teeny tiny ones, which are fine if you don't have a lot of room like me. But even if you do, these ones here are gummy enough you can get them out of their own way. But that's your lot. Not a terrible spread. I think some alt heads would have been nice, though. At least for Omega Red, it would have been nice to have an alternate head. And maybe War Machine, it would have been nice to have those repulsor blasts. But that's just me. You know, wouldn't hurt to add a little value to the box, would it? But getting Omega Red out of the way, because he's probably the main reason people are buying this pack, because, well, the Wolverine 5-pack, more expensive than this, even though you do get more stuff in it. Let's take a look-see at War Machine first. Now, in my opinion, this War Machine probably pairs best with the Iron Man from the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure wave because of the metallic blue he's got going on. Not just on his face, but on his arms and legs, too. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. We do have the retro card one in the I'm loving it McDonald's colors. The mustard yellow and ketchup or red. But, you know, I think if we're going to do metallics, just get the old one, put him with this guy. I think that'll work nicely. But as far as articulation goes, it's the same War Machine body we've seen, I think, 3 times now. So his head can look up and down for the most part. Not the best. But you do get that nuance in there. Sorry, I was having a brain fart. You get one gun on a track. You get the big arse cannon, which, no, there's nothing you can really do with this. You can put this in here, and it will stay. So that's cool. You can at least do that. But other than that, the other missile does not fit. So that kind of sucks, but it gets the job done. It's a singular cannon. There's no track on this side. They retooled the torso. I think this torso is all new. I don't even think it's like just a redo of the old one. I think it's a brand new sculpt in general. Shoulders will pop out about this far. It'll rotate full 360. He's got the pauldrons that will get out of the way. He's got a swivel in the bicep. Double jointed elbows. Top joint's a little looser than the bottom, and if you want maximum range, I'd recommend bending the bottom one over the top one. But that's just me. He does have swivel hinge wrists that do work quite well. He also has an ab crunch that will lean this far forward and this far back, as well as a waist twist. Very tight on this one. The last couple War Machines, I don't think the waist was quite as tight. Hips will kick forward this far, back this far. They can kick out, back down. Now, Evil Villain was telling me that the hips are a little tricky with this guy. I haven't noticed that with like any of my figures, but granted, it's been like 90 freaking degrees here in upstate New York, so I haven't really needed to heat anything to get it to move. But you know, word to the wise, I guess. He does have a thigh cut that works fine. Double jointed knee that works fine. He also has a hinge in the foot with a rocker and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. You know, standard shit when it comes to Marvel Legends. I think the gauntlets are new. The pauldrons seem new. I don't know if the retro card one had that. Upper torso is new. This gun is new. The waist might even be new. But don't quote me on any of this. I'm not 100% sure. Possibly the head. But now that he is out of the way, let's take a look at Omega Red. Now, a friend of the channel, Vampire, back when we used to hang out and shoot the shit, mentioned that while Wolverine has the healing factor, Omega Red's got the death factor, and I thought that was metal AF, so I always had a soft spot for this character. However, despite the fact that I was looking forward to this guy, I did not know how much new stuff he was going to have. First of all, he's got the pinless elbows, so, you know, if you like to cream pie to those, he's got those. He's got new shin guards, knee guards. These are not the same as the Sauron Bathwave one. They almost remind me of the foot soldier emblem from the 03 Turtles, but missing a couple points. And then he's got a new harness. These pauldrons are way bigger than the ones we've seen before. And they're also kind of warped on mine because I had imposed shooting his tendrils into the ground, and I actually think I just fixed it. So I take that back. That said, he also has this new head. It's screaming bloody murder. Looks pissed. I love it. He also has an articulated ponytail, which, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't a thing on the other Omega Red figures, like at all. It feels like it could pop out if you're not careful, so be mindful of that. But at any rate, as far as his articulation goes, he's got a swivel in the head. He's got a disc hinge that will allow him to look down and up. Despite his hair, it's actually soft enough it will get out of the way, and the joint is tight enough it will force it out of the way. Shoulders will go up to the side. You probably get a little more than this. Yeah, there we go. Get it up about that high, and then you can swivel these back and forth on that beautiful butterfly. He does have a bicep twist. That will work. This side was a little gummy on mine at first, but it seems to be okay now. Yeah. It's just because it's freaking 90 degrees here. That's why that wasn't cooperating. His shoulders will, of course, rotate up and down. Push his arm up all the way. He's got the double elbows. Those work fine. Swivel hinge wrists. They work fine. He's got the ports on his wrists for his tentacles. Again, don't be confused with testicles. His ab crunch will lean this far forward. His belt will kind of hike up. I really think that maybe this guy would have benefited from like the X-Men 97 VHS Cyclops treatment, where the straps are kind of keyed into the torso, and the pauldrons were maybe separate pieces all together, like on the shoulders or in the shoulder sockets. That way you could move them around. But I'm sure we'll get that Omega Red in a couple of years, and everyone will be like, "Oh, this one's obsolete now," because you know, Hasbro gonna Hasbro. But he does have a waist twist. It's tight enough. Hips will kick forward, kick back, out, back down. He's got a thigh cut. Double jointed knee. I will say, not the tightest knees on this body this year, especially like this bottom one on mine. I don't know what the deal with that is. I think my Warpath was the same way. Like, this knee was looser than this one for some weird reason. But yet that Retrocard Venom and the Sabretooth from last year didn't have those problems. But he could stand, so it's whatever. He's got a hinge in the foot with a rocker and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So a decent Omega Red offering, I'll say. Probably the best one at this point. And if this 2-pack ain't sold out, I would recommend you pick this up. Especially if you're like me and you wanted the Omega Red out of that Wolverine 5-pack and didn't buy it because you didn't give a shit about the other characters in the Wolverine 5-pack. Oh, well, that's not true. I did kind of want, was it Cyber, the Ichabod Crane looking dude? Sebastian Shaw, is that his name? I don't remember. He's one of the Hellfire Club dudes with the frilly clothes and whatnot. He looks like a colonist. And then the Wolverine that was like bare-chested and beat to shit. I thought he was kind of cool, but either way, how many Wolverines do you really need nowadays? I'd love to know. I guess more, because we're getting like 3 more based off the Comic-Con reveals, but putting War Machine here. The scaling between the two of them makes sense. War Machine being a bigger guy because of his armor, but Omega Red being a big jack evil Russian in general, it makes sense that he is taller. But yeah, I like this set. I think this is a good set. I just think it's overshadowed by everything else coming out because it doesn't have the new Psylocke. It doesn't have the new Wolverine. It doesn't have Captain America with butterfly joints. And it's not a really, really nice looking update to Juggernaut because, well, let's face it, that Juggernaut bath, it's outdated at this point. It's been outdated, but they're just now getting around to updating it. Makes me wonder why the Hulk got the shaft, man. I really don't understand that. You know, Maximum Spider-Man, it was overpriced, but actually felt not like shit. But that Hulk, I didn't even buy it. If you want me to buy it, either hook it up or, I don't know, let me know when it's like $40, because that's the only way I'm going to mess with that figure. I'll hold out for the Thor and the Black Costume Spidey in the Maximum line. Thank you. Or, you know, a Hulk on the new Juggernaut body, because why the hell is he not on the same body? The world may never know. But before we wrap this up, let's bring in our 2 regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulith and the infamous 11 Spawn, who I'm actually curious. Nope, he's actually a little shorter than Omega Red there. How about that? Ain't that some shit? So, with that being said, I think it is time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and aside from some typical issues you see with Hasbro product nowadays, gumminess, looseness, etc., I have to say that a good old War Machine and Omega Red from ye old M.V.C. here are probably going to be the underdogs of this whole Gamerverse program this year because, well, really there's nothing that wrong with these other than It's not Psylocke, it's not the new Wolverine, it's not the new Cap, and it's certainly not the new Deluxe Juggernaut. They're just overshadowed by more hyped up releases. And are those releases worth all the hype? Well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.